Do not leave me, Munyem. If you sleep with another man, you will lose your sight forever. I will manage whatever amount of love you give to me. Please don't leave me. Once upon a time, there lived a girl called Ulioma. Uli was born blind and lost her mother during her birth. Her father took care of her and raised her alone until she was 2. Due to her father's demanding job, he took her to her grandparents to live with them and visited her occasionally. Uli grew up to become the most beautiful girl in her village. She was humble, hardworking, and friendly, but sometimes she felt saddened about her condition. Uli's grandparents usually feel sad when they look at her. They will say to one another, if life wasn't fair to Uli, she deserves to be married to a very wealthy and good-looking man because she looks like a queen and her beauty deserves nurture, they would say. But life happened to Uli. Despite her beauty and wonderful attitude, no man wanted to marry her because she was blind. A certain day, the prince of the land, unaware of Uli's condition, demanded to see her after he saw her in the stream. When she was brought to the palace before the prince, he rejected her immediately he noticed she was blind. That was another sad day for Uli, feeling the pain of rejection. One day, Ulioma visited her father at a neighboring village. A young man called Odilichi, who had delivered cocoyam to Uli's father the previous day, came back to collect his payments. When he saw Uli, he became love-struck instantly, despite her condition. From that day, he could not get her off his mind. He started to come around every day after work to keep her company and buying her plenty of gifts. Odilichi was so in love with Uli that he decided to tell his parents about her. Nne, Papa, I have finally seen a woman I want to make my wife. She is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my entire life. Only that she is blind, but I do not care, he said. His parents, hearing Ulioma's condition, tried to discourage him, but he was hell-bent on marrying her. Weeks later, Odilichi married Ulioma. He treated her like an egg and basically did everything for her. He fetched water for her, washed her dirty clothes, and cooked her meals. The only thing he couldn't do for her was making her see, and that made him really sad. Odili swore he was going to find a solution for his wife's blindness. He moved from one village to the other, searching for a healer, but all to no avail. No one was able to help because her blindness was from birth. One day, luck smiled on Odili. He was able to find a great healer. Young man, what you seek is very difficult. Your wife's blindness is oburuputowa. Only a body part of that one person who truly loves her and she is destined to spend her life with can cure her. If you are willing to give one of your fingers, it will be used to prepare a medicine for her cure. The healer told Odili, I'm willing to do anything for my wife to gain her sight. She is my life and her happiness is all I want. He replied the healer. Odilichi agreed to have one of his fingers amputated. It was a very painful process, but he was determined for Uli to see. The healer amputated Odili's finger, grounded it and prepared a concoction with it, which he handed over to him to always apply it on Uli's eyes for 7 days, after which he will bring her for the final process. This concoction will make her see again, but I must warn you, any day she will lay with another man that is not you, she will lose her sight forever, and no healer can be able to cure her again. Odili, trusting his wife so much, assured the healer that nothing of such should ever happen. He thanked him and left with the concussion. He used the medicine on Uli as the healer had directed, and on the 7th day, he took Uli to the healer, who performed the final ritual, and Uli was able to see again. Uli, for the first time, saw the world with its beauty, the vibrant trees, the blue, beautiful sky, and the faces of her loved ones. Tears of joy streamed down her face as she hugged her husband tightly, her voice filled with gratitude. The medicine man's warning echoed in Odili's mind. Her sight, he had said, is bound to you, Odili. If she sleeps with another man, she shall be blind again forever. Time passed, and Uli's happiness filled their home and the entire village. Odili, however, was consumed by anxiety. He watched her with mix of love and fear, guiding her with possessiveness that grew more suffocating with each passing day. One day, as Uli walked to visit her grandparents at Idani, she encountered the handsome prince who had earlier rejected her. "You can see now," his voice filled with wonder. Ulioma's heart, fluttering, felt a strange attraction to the prince. She was a woman who never experienced the world, who had never known the touch of another man. Their encounters became more frequent. The prince showered her with luxury gifts and compliments. He continually spoke of how she deserves a life of luxury and happiness. Torn between her loyalty to Odili and the charming prince, she found herself at a crossroad. She confided in her friend Oluchi, who, blinded by her own desire, saw only the prince's wealth and influence. "Take your chance, Ulioma," she said. "Odili has done his part, but the prince will reward him handsomely. You deserve a better life." The seed of doubt grew in Ulioma's heart. She began to see Odili's love as burden and a constraint on her newfound freedom. His possessiveness, that was once a comfort for her, now felt like a cage. Odili sensed the changes in Uli that he could not understand. Fear crept into his heart. He tried to ask what was wrong with her, but Uli gave him a cold shoulder. One day, she finally gathered the courage to tell her husband her intent to leave their marriage. "I thought I loved you enough when I was blind, but now what I feel for you is pity for your unwavering devotion towards me. I don't think I can ever love you the way you want me to. You deserve someone that will treat you better." Odilichukwu's voice trembled as he pleaded with her, reminding her of the consequences. "Do not leave me, Wunyem. If you sleep with another man, you will lose your sight forever. I will manage whatever amount of love you give to me. Please don't leave me," he pleaded. Ulioma dismissed his warnings about being with some other man, thinking it was a way for him to stop her from leaving. They parted ways. Odili cried his eyes out, drawn with thoughts of betrayal and hurt. Ulioma's father and grandparents voiced their concerns, but Uli wouldn't listen to any of them. As days turned into weeks, she got engaged to the prince. The night of the day she got engaged to the prince, as she moved into the prince's arm, she felt the whisper of betrayal and consequences, but she resisted, her conscience battling her desires. The prince was waiting for her, with a smile playing on his lips as he reached for her hand. Drowned in passion, she took a deep breath, and with heart filled with guilt, she stepped into the passion, leaving behind the life she had known and the man who had given her a clearer vision of what life looks like. Then came the fateful morning. After she consummated her union with the prince, a chilling darkness enveloped her eyes. Her husband's warning words echoed through her mind. She was filled with panic as she confessed her afflictions to the prince. To her surprise, the prince turned on her, accusing her of deceit and refusing to make a blind girl his queen. Ulioma was downcasted. Her whole world came crashing before her. The prince sent her back to her father's house, who rejected her out of anger. She went to her grandparents, who welcomed her despite being upset with her. The news of her return spread the whole village, reaching ears of her heartbroken ex-husband Odili. Despite his pain from her betrayal, his love for her still burned like a wildfire. He went in search of her, and with open arms he forgave and welcomed her back, promising to cherish her forever. Uli, burdened by regrets, held and thanked him and promised to spend the rest of her life by his side. And so, the tale of Ulioma, the woman who blinded herself a second time by chasing mirage, became a cautionary moral tale to everyone.